Command Center, we are traveling towards Mars. The Syndicate Horizon spacecraft could reach Mars in as little as 39 days if it traveled at its speed of 36,000 miles per hour. However, spacecraft need to slow down as they get closer to Mars. We are encountering a few obstacles before we can reach the destination. It seems there is space debris blocking the path. Let's go around it.
Mission Control, we are landing.
My father, Kamua, was once the protector of our world, wielding the first neon sword to battle the forces of the New Order. He fought to free us from their grip, and defeated the man who once called himself his brother. But peace was never ours to keep. Now it's my turn to face the enemies my father couldn't destroy. The Syndicate and their master, the Architect.
The Neon War, Part 4. The Fall of the Architect. Jahlil, son of Kamua, had infiltrated the very heart of the New Order, a sprawling, fortified citadel that loomed like a dark tower in the neon wastelands of Earth. Cloaked in a sleek black uniform and armed with his father's laser sword, Jahlil blended in with the enemy ranks, a silent shadow among the architects of Earth's destruction. For weeks, he had carefully maneuvered through their ranks, earning trust, gathering intel, and uncovering the horrific truth behind the New Order's plans. The Architect, a brilliant but twisted leader, had designed a catastrophic plan to burn Earth's remaining resources to fuel the escape of the elite to their newly built colony on Mars. Billions of lives would be sacrificed, leaving a dead planet behind. But Jahlil had a plan of his own, to stop them from within. During his time undercover, Jahlil discovered something unexpected. Deep within the New Order's research division, a young woman named Zara, barely older than himself, had been turned into a cyborg without her consent. Once a brilliant engineer, she had been captured and forced into the New Order's experiments to enhance human intelligence with machine capabilities. Her humanity was stripped away, her body replaced by metal and circuits. But her mind, her spirit, remained defiant. Jahlil found her locked in a high-tech cell, her robotic limbs bound by energy restraints. Her eyes, though mechanical, held a flicker of resistance, a deep sadness mixed with rage.
Look at what the New Order did to me. I was changed into a cybernetic robot. But I still remember who I am. And I know what they plan to do to Earth.
Jahlil's heart ached for her. He had seen many atrocities committed by the New Order, but Zara's transformation into a living weapon struck him differently. It was a stark reminder of the cruelty of the system he was fighting to dismantle. He vowed to free her, but first, they had to stop the Architect.
I am a hero. My job is to save my people.
The Architect, the mastermind behind the New Order's operations, had caught wind of Jahlil's growing influence and suspected betrayal. He had prepared his ultimate line of defense, the Black Syndicate, an elite group of robot ninjas, silent assassins programmed with deadly precision and unmatched combat skills. The Syndicate's sole mission: hunt down and eliminate Jahlil before he could carry out his plan.
You are the future of the Syndicate. The Architect is building a great new world on Mars.
It wasn't long before Jahlil's cover was blown. The Architect, sitting atop his throne of circuits and screens, watched coldly as the Syndicate descended upon Jahlil's location in the Citadel's core. These machines were more than simple combat drones. They moved like shadows, their blades gleaming in the neon light, their red eyes glowing with merciless intent. The battle was fierce. Jahlil's sword clashed against their steel, sparks flying as they traded blows in a blur of speed and power. He was outnumbered, and the Syndicate moved with eerie coordination, their attacks relentless. But Jahlil had inherited more than just his father's skills. He had also learned to think like a strategist. With Zara's help, Jahlil had discovered a backdoor into the New Order's AI systems. As the Syndicate pressed in, Jahlil made his move. He connected his blade to a nearby control terminal, activating the hidden override codes Zara had helped him create. In a single decisive moment, Jahlil reprogrammed the AI that controlled not only the Black Syndicate, but every robot and machine under the Architect's command. The red glow in the Syndicate's eyes flickered, then faded. Their blades halted mid-strike, and for the first time, they hesitated. Jahlil had turned the tide. He spoke into the override system, his voice calm but commanding.
You will no longer serve the New Order. You will fight for humanity.
The Syndicate, along with the entire robotic army, turned away from their creators, no longer under the Architect's control. It was a victory Jahlil had barely hoped for, but he had achieved it. The machines that were once programmed to destroy now stood as allies to protect the very planet they were meant to abandon. With the Syndicate neutralized, Jahlil and Zara fought their way to the Architect's central chamber. The Architect sat behind a wall of holographic screens, controlling the operations of the Mars colony remotely. His cold, calculating eyes met Jahlil's with disdain.
You think you can stop progress? Earth is finished, boy. Only a fool would stay behind. Mars is the future.
Jahlil raised his sword.
Not if you have to burn everything to get there. I will stop you, Architect.
The Architect sneered. You know nothing of sacrifice. I have shaped this new world, built it from the ashes of a dying one. And you think a single sword can undo all of that? Jahlil charged, his blade slicing through the Architect's defenses, disarming his drones and dismantling his tech with swift, calculated strikes. But the Architect wasn't easily beaten. He triggered the final phase of his plan, the destruction of Earth's atmosphere. A countdown appeared on the main screen, 10 minutes until the entire planet would be engulfed in an energy blast from the New Order's Mars base, sealing Earth's fate. But Jahlil was ready. He lunged forward, bypassing the Architect's last defenses, and drove the laser sword into the control core. The systems sparked and short-circuited, the countdown freezing at the last second. The Earth had been spared, at least for now. The Architect slumped back, defeated. But as Jahlil turned to leave, the Architect uttered one final sentence that stopped him in his tracks. Zara, she's my daughter. Jahlil's heart skipped a beat. He looked at Zara, her eyes wide with shock and confusion. Could it be true? The Architect, the man responsible for so much suffering, was her father. It didn't seem possible, but the look on Zara's face told him she was questioning everything she had ever known. Before Jahlil could process the revelation, the Architect pressed a hidden switch on his armrest. The Citadel began to shake violently as alarms blared. The New Order will rise again, even if I fall, the Architect whispered. Mars is only the beginning. Jahlil grabbed Zara's hand, pulling her to safety as the citadel began to collapse around them. They raced through the crumbling corridors, escaping just as the structure imploded in a cloud of neon dust. As they stood in the desert outside the ruins of the New Order's citadel, Jahlil turned to Zara, his mind swirling with questions. Who was she really? Had the architect turned his own daughter into a cyborg, or was there more to the story? Zara looked down at her robotic hands, her expression unreadable. I don't know what to believe anymore, she whispered. Before Jahlil could respond, a distant roar filled the sky. He looked up, and his blood ran cold. High above, a fleet of ships from Mars appeared, descending through the clouds. The New Order had not been defeated. They were regrouping, stronger than ever. Zara, Jahlil said, gripping his sword, this isn't over. And as the neon-lit sky darkened with the shadow of the fleet, Jahlil realized that the battle for Earth was only the beginning.